Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Namaskar. Showtime. This is episode 11 in the third week of the third season of the Diversey BW Hotelier GM Show series. Today, Friday, the 24th of January, and we're just a little over 4 p.m. I'm really excited to be down south in the city of Pearls, Hyderabad. And I have two back-to-back shows today. Let me get rolling with the first one. This is going to be a very interesting discussion. And the topic for the show today is Heritage and Luxury Meets MICE, Managing Diverse Hospitality Needs in Hyderabad. Look, Hyderabad is a city that seamlessly blends heritage with modernity, where iconic historical landmarks coexist with a thriving business and technology hub. It is also emerging as one of India's top destinations for MICE, while continuing to be a beacon of luxury and culture. For those of you who've not been to Hyderabad, you must have it on your bucket list. I am today joined by a very esteemed panel of speakers. They're all experts, each bringing unique insights from their respective assets. Let me begin right away and introduce the moderator of this session, Pankaj Sampath, who's the area director for Hyderabad and the general manager of the Taj Krishna, Hyderabad. Welcome to the show, Pankaj.
Very good afternoon to you, Bhuvi. I hope you can see me and hear me clearly.
I can see you very well and I can hear you dot clear.
So
Welcome.
glad to be on this show. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to moderate this esteemed panel of panelists, which bring in a lot of knowledge, lot of information about what's happening here in Hyderabad. So it'll be great to kind of work with these leaders. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity once again.
The pleasure is ours. There's a bit of a history to me and Pankaj. I stayed years in his hotel. When I tell you years, mean years. I used to come back every weekend to Delhi and go back every week, beginning to Mumbai. And he later on became the general manager of the Taj President and a great host. Now, the next is another experienced hotelier, Vijay Shrikanth. He's the area director operations and the general manager of the Taj Falaknuma Palace in Hyderabad. Both the gentlemen are with IHCL and they're of rare stock. Welcome to the show, Vijay.
Good evening, Mr. Khanna. Good evening, Pankaj, and good evening to the distinguished panel which is on this talk show today. Very exciting, very topical discussion that we'll be having, and I feel privileged to be a part of it. Thank you so much.
Good to see you, Vijay.
Thank you, Pankaj.
Next in is Deeppreet Bindra, a Delhiite who's been all over the country. I was just having a chat with him. He's the general manager of the West in Hyderabad. Welcome to the show, Deep.
A very, very good evening, Mr. Khanna, and thank you for having me on the show. Great to be part of this esteemed panel here and look forward for a great conversation here.
Delighted to have you on the session.
Thank you.
Amandeep Grover, Hyderabad boy who's just come in from Goa and into Hyderabad. Welcome to the show. And he is the pre-opening general manager of the Hilton Hyderabad Genome Valley Resort and Spa, which is due to open soon.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Paji, and thank you to BW Hotelier for inviting me on the panel once again. And good evening to my fellow hoteliers. Looking forward to having a lot of knowledge, a lot of learning, and a lot of chatting.
Thank you. Welcome, Aman. Last but not the least, a general manager whose hospitality I've handled many times, Jitendra Tak. He's the general manager of the well-appointed ITC Kohinoor in Hyderabad. Welcome to the show, Jitendra.
Thank you so much, Mr. Khanna. It's an absolute honor to be on this show with you and with the fellow hoteliers. Looking forward to an exciting 1 hour.
All right, great. So let's all keep our cameras on and let the show begin. Let me get rolling, Pankaj, straight away with you. Ruben, Deep, Vijay, switch on your cameras, please, and let that camera stay on. So let me get rolling, Pankaj, with your permission. So Pankaj, tell me, Hyderabad has a rich history. Who doesn't know Hyderabad? I mean, it has not just the Nawabi culture and the pearls, it has so much more beyond biryani and the food, the tehzeeb, the culture,
The kebabs.
and the kebabs. It's an IT-driven present, and also it holds a promising future as a MICE destination. What are the key challenges and opportunities for luxury hotels in catering to this diverse audience?
So very good afternoon once again, and looking at the opportunities, you said a few of them already in your introduction to Hyderabad. Hyderabad is now a preferred destination for various industries and business, predominantly because of the favorable government policies. I think each of the governments that have come in the past have kind of looked at developing Hyderabad into making it a center for industry, IT, and and especially for that matter, state-of-the-art medical facilities that we have here in Hyderabad. So I think that is the list of opportunities. Other than that, of course, there is the cultural and the heritage that Hyderabad brings to this country. So I think that is something that becomes an opportunity for hotels and for tourists to come into Hyderabad per se. The second thing is when you said what are the challenges that the industry currently faces in Telangana per se, is of course the fact that the industry is not got the hospitality industry has not got the industry status which almost 9 or 10 states have kind of already announced, including our neighboring state Andhra Pradesh. And as the president of HRATS, we have been kind of pushing the previous government as well as the current government to kind of grant us that status, which is very, very important because that will kind of help drive future investment into Hyderabad for the hotel business. And I think this is one of the key challenges that I think at this point in time that comes foremost to my mind. Of course, other than that, I would look at some of the other ones, which would be predominantly development of infrastructure. I think it's not just only Telangana per se as a country. I think we need to develop a lot more infrastructure in terms of connectivity. But of course, that is something which is a work in progress, and I can see a lot of it happening. So I think this will happen to Telangana as well. The third thing that comes to my mind is predominantly the restrictions that we have. I think some of the restrictions in terms of timing, licensing, etc., needs to change. I think this is something, if the government takes tourism extremely seriously, gives an industry status, all of this would get addressed. And last but not the least, I think the importance of promoting or the importance of understanding what tourism brings to a state. I think that is something which I feel that can be done a lot more than what's being currently done. So I think promoting tourism, Telangana, the destinations that they have, etc., I think will go a long way to kind of develop the industry in the state.
You know, well said. You've captured most of what we'd want to hear. But let me tell you, Hyderabad, when infrastructure is concerned, is perhaps amongst the top 2 or 3 players.
True.
And yeah, and it also has a very balanced climate.
Absolutely.
Very educated middle class. And if I was to go back in time, it was the Andhra Pradesh then that started the IT revolution in the country.
Of course.
Right, by bringing in Microsoft.
Of course.
And now, and then also, let's talk about education. Let's not forget sports, right?
Of course, badminton.
Badminton, cricket, you have them all.
True,
right?
true.
So,
Absolutely true.
So the latest kid on the block in the Indian cricket team, Nitish Reddy. So
correct.
Who can forget that? And not to forget the Telugu film industry.
Of course. Brilliant. I think that is something which is what is kind of doing extremely well, and that's something which is a big attraction. I think that is something that can also drive tourism to the state. You know, that something that can be done on that front as well. So I think that can be an opportunity as well.
Yeah. So let me now step back a little and hand over the show to you. And here are the reins.
Thank you so much, Bhuvi.
Yeah.
This is really nice. To have some really esteemed colleagues on the panel and to kind of have a chat with them on this topic. So I'm going to start off straight away with Vijay. And Vijay, I have a question for you, which says that the Taj Falaknama, which is an iconic representation of Hyderabad's royal heritage, how do you blend its historic charm with the expectations of the modern luxury traveler? I think this is a question that many people would have, and who best can answer that but you?
So good evening once again all, and thank you for the question, Pankaj. In fact, I would like to just also compliment you and congratulate you on the initiatives that you've been doing all this while as part of HRATS as well as the CII, and pushing the hospitality as well as the tourism angle for Telangana and Hyderabad. And it's good to see that, you know, the tourism policy has been announced by the government after 10 years of existence, but it has finally come about in December of last month. So I think that's a step in the right direction. And, you know, it's a credit to you and the people that you've worked with that it has finally come about. It has been work, you know, in the works, but it has finally come about. You know, as we talk about Hyderabad, it is very interestingly positioned. I think with some people say it's not south, some people say it's not north, you know, so it's right in between and it's loved by everybody. So it's great to be in a place like this. And I would just say that, you know, the relevance of the Taj Faluknuma Palace, maybe to the city, maybe to Hyderabad, is a matter of privilege, which is something we feel extremely honored by, to play whatever role is we are called upon in that context and requirement. But you know, when we look at the question that you asked, that how do we, when we look at an old historical palace like this, how do we keep it and how do we make sure that it meets the needs and requirements of the luxury guest of today? Well, first is that, you know, preserving the heritage of the palace, preserving the traditions, the customs, the cuisine, the architecture, all that is something that has been very, very, I would say, faithfully restored to reflect what it was in the past, the grandeur. And then when we look at the requirements of the modern day traveler, we ensure that everything that they look forward to in terms of comfort and amenities like high-speed Wi-Fi, you know, luxury bathrooms, furnishings, flat TVs, those sort of amenities are there available for them in the rooms and other areas of the hotel. The next element is, apart from the architecture, you look at curated experiences. So to give them a sense of place. So you look at providing them with historical tours, with walks around the palace, you know, the architecture, the history, how it related to the city, and you know, bringing about certain things. You also look at maybe showcasing unique aspects of this place, like the Darbar Hall, which is there in the palace, which is where the Nizam used to give audience to, you know, the visiting dignitaries and royalties who called upon him. You look at the 101 dining, which is the longest current operating dining table in the world, historical also for that matter, which is, you know, a choice of many for very prestigious, you know, special occasions. So for, you know, showcasing all this, providing all this to guests to celebrate special occasions, moments in their life. And then, of course, complementing it again with modern cuisines. So it's not that when you come out here, you do get the traditional Hyderabadi cuisines. We do provide certain dishes which are from the Nizam's kitchens, which we worked along with their chefs, and we've brought that about. But you also complement it with an international array, which provides a certain level of comfort to your international travelers who are also visiting, apart from the local cuisine and delicacies, as well as, you know, certain other elements of the wellness spa that we have, J Wellness Spa. So it's, you know, respecting the heritage and the history and incorporating in a very subtle manner modern comforts and amenities to provide a holistic experience to our guests.
That's fantastic. Great to know that, Vijay. I think that's really well answered, and I think it's an experience to kind of be at the palace. Been there a couple of times, so I can imagine what you're saying, every bit of it. And I think it does this make the effort to kind of bring in the heritage as well as luxury together at the same time. So I think it's fantastic. Great. Thank you, Vijay. And with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post my next question, and I think this is to Deep. Deep, Deep, you are at the Westin Hyderabad. Westin has been doing extremely well. Heard a lot of good things about the hotel. It's known for its wellness focus. And how do you integrate wellness with the demands of the high intensity MICE events that keep happening with you all the time? How do you do that?
There. Hi, I think very good afternoon. I think once again, big congratulations to Vijay for running a great hotel there. I've been there myself, and I think the operations are superbly well. The way it is being, I think, managed, it's one of the best in the country, if may I say that. But great operations, Vijay. Thank you. I think first and foremost, it's important to highlight that Westin is one of the distinguished brand in Marriott, where wellness is at the center stage of overall guest experience. The Western wellness pillars are integrated to defining experiences for all the guests, whether they are traveling for business meetings or for MICE events per se. We have integrated wellness facilities into day-to-day offerings for all our guests. To cite some examples, our fitness center is open round the clock. Our signature Western Heavenly Spa offers a range of rejuvenating treatments out there to help guests unwind after a busy day of meeting or attending a conference. Additionally, our all-day dining options cater to various dietary preferences with our well-crafted Eat Well menus, especially for MICE events at the hotel. And our signature Heavenly Bed gives a restful peace. So I think to sum it up, wellness is one of the key aspects that is being integrated in the entire guest journey at Western Mindspace.
So with that, I just want to ask you another question. That with wellness, do you have a spa which is 24/7? How does it operate? Or do you have, because people must be finishing conferences at 6, 7, do you have extended hours for them?
So, what happens when you speak about Western as a brand, they have six distinguished pillars, just to answer your question. Uh, Moving forward to it, it's eat well, sleep well, feel well, walk well, play well, and move well. When you look at, I think one of the important aspect when the MICE event is happening at the hotel is that all these are combinations which are, guest is kind of experiencing at that point of time. So when you look at this, facilities which you rightly mentioned, like spa, which is a 24-hour spa at the hotel, post the event, I think we have this arrangement exactly in this hotel where they can utilize these services.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I think that makes a lot of sense considering the fact that you have events that go on till late and somebody wants to use the spa, etc. They have the freedom to do so. So fabulous. Thank you so much, Deep, for what you do. And with that, I would like to ask another question to my friend Ruben from Novotel. Ruben, as a leading MICE destination, how does the Novotel Convention Center cater to large-scale events while maintaining a personalized luxury experience?
Okay. Hi, good evening, Pankaj, and good evening, friends. I think Bhuvnesh missed somehow introducing me, but Bhuvnesh, I would like to congratulate. A big thank you to you for this amazing initiative that you've set rolling. It's the third season, so it speaks volumes that how successful this whole program is. And secondly, I mean, I've been watching this a lot of your shows for the last couple of years, and one can get so many takeaways with the plethora of knowledge that's being shared by so many GMs, nationwide. So that's kudos to you. And last but not the least, a big thank you to Diversey for partnering with you and getting this great show rolling. Right. So, Pankaj, coming to the question that you asked me, for starters, I'm super proud to be associated with Novotel because Convention Center, because this was the first purpose-built convention facility in India, and spread across 15 acres. And we have been hosting a lot of events, and as high as 6,500 delegates without compromising on comfort and luxury. Another advantage that we have is our location. Again, nobody could have asked for a better location for such a huge mammoth property to be in the heart of the city, the financial hub and the high-tech city. Technology, again, I'm sure all of our hotels, I mean, all great brands equally have cutting-edge technology. We also partner with equally competent vendors who kind of help us with the latest AV technology, ensuring high-quality presentations and digital experiences. Another thing we add is personalized services with dedicated events team, because for me, if HICC is a place which handles events more say, and hosting large scale events, we maintain a personalized touch to the dedicated event team who kind of tailor make solutions to each event, whether small or whether grand. We give a kind of a holistic MICE expertise. For me, since almost 65 to 70% of my revenue comes from this segment. I mean, this focus drives us to continuously refine my offering, from tech-enabled setups to curated F&B experience. I mean, we have to be on top of the game with something innovative, because there's so much of competition now, right? Then again, being a part of Accor, sustainability is one of our core commitments, and really pride ourselves on running a kind of a eco-friendly operation where we can reduce waste, optimize energy, leverage sustainable materials, wherein the clients can, post about their initiatives towards sustainability, and the kind of wastage through the minimal environmental impact. And we also have the advantage of our existence being so old that we have a lot of annual association meets, that recurring annual association. So, which kind of shows the trust our partners have, demonstrating their trust and place in the venue and teams. Digital presence is a very big thing for us, because we understand the significance for the digital space and events, why it's so important, and because of that, we make ourselves present across online platforms. Offering virtual tours, giving digital solutions, so that for those who are not present here, they are connected virtually. And last but not the least, the big advantage I have is we've got this Novotel hotel connected to the convention center. So, our guests who are attending it have the option not only for dining, but a comfortable accommodation with leisure amenities, and a holistic kind of experience.
That's super. I've been to your hotel and I know the kind of events that it does. So fabulous to have such large scale events, and to do it seamlessly needs a lot of expertise and a lot of constant upgradation, etc., in terms of the state of the art equipment. Ruben, so hats off to you as well in terms of kind of putting up that show. And of course, that's what makes Hyderabad so vibrant. You get in large conferences, and that's what kind of makes sure the city is constantly buzzing. So that's
Absolutely.
great. That's great. So that's fabulous to have a convention center of that size in Hyderabad, and maybe we need one more as well in the future. So maybe that's something to look forward to. And with that, I'm going to ask my next question to Amandeep. And Amandeep, Hilton is a very unique hotel which has got focus on both wellness and nature. How do you balance the demands of the corporate traveler and a MICE traveler with these two elements, which you are so strong with, which is wellness and nature?
Thank you. Thank you for your question, Pankaj, and good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be back on the show once again, this time from Hyderabad. I've done two from Goa, so it's quite a pleasure to be back to my hometown and do the show. Look, it's actually, most of you have actually covered a lot about Hyderabad, and I think Bhuvi Paji said that it's heritage meets luxury, right? And I think that's a very important factor. But what Hyderabad was actually missing was a luxury resort, a 5-star luxury resort. And that's where, Hilton, came up with this, and credit to the ownership, with the vision. And where we would cater both, let me start by telling you about the location, because that's where, the nature part comes in. The resort is spread over 20 acres. And one of the biggest USPs of the resort would be the landscaping. And we are a little away from the city. I don't want to call it outskirts, and that's what's, I think, been the talk. But I think we're not really away from the city. We are only about, let's say, an hour, and an hour's drive in a city in Hyderabad is nothing today. But that gives you away from the hustle and bustle into a peace, serene environment where actually people are looking or want to de-stress, right? And we all go through various stresses during our day, during the week, which is where we as a player would come in. For offsites, we've got great banqueting event spaces. We've got great lawn spaces, outdoor events. We've got a great amphitheater. We've got great wedding mandapams, which we created. So we would cater to all segments, and, the nature or the way we've, have a beautiful artificial lagoon created amidst the center of the resort. That's another fact where we've imbibed nature. And again, something which is very important, talking about nature, which the ownership have kept in mind. We've not done away with any trees that were there in the resort or in the land that were existing. We actually, retained all of them, which I think is a big credit. So that obviously nature would bring in a lot of the MICE. I would say even leisure. In fact, I would just not leave it to corporates and MICE. I would actually put in, the leisure client as well. Because we have a wonderful spa. We've got a Hilton branded spa, which is Euphoria. We've got great recreational facilities. We're going to be having a pickleball court, basketball court, cricket nets, tennis, to just add a few. So obviously this will cater to a lot more segment. And like I said, Hyderabad was definitely missing a resort piece. And you all have wonderful properties that you all run. And I've had the privilege to see all of them. And I think being from Hyderabad, and obviously a lot of them have been there for many years or decades, in fact. But it did want a resort, and I think that's where we would step in.
So, Amandeep, how many rooms do you have there, and what's the banqueting capacity you have there predominantly?
Oh, look, so we've got 115 keys, which is a mix of standard rooms and pool villas and so on.
Okay.
The banqueting capacity, our largest grand ballroom is 6,300 square feet, and our largest outdoor lawn is about 49,000 square feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this mandapam is a covered mandapam, or you can cover it if you.
If required, can be covered, but it's an outdoor one, overlooking the beautiful view of the lagoon and the pool area. So it's actually very, very. I think it's going to be a very picturesque location.
Congratulations,
yeah.
and I hope that also drives more business into the city of.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what we want. All want.
All of us want.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my next question, I'm going to ask Jitender actually. Jitender, ITC Kohinoor, I think it's one of the newest kids on the block, which embodies the essence of responsible luxury. How do you align sustainable practices with the demands of the MICE and the traveler who comes predominantly to see heritage and culture? How do you do that?
Yeah. Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Pankaj. So over the last 5 years, we have seen, we have witnessed an increase in awareness and preference for booking hotels that endorse sustainability or responsible luxury in our language. And as a result, we have seen that each of the hotel chains have taken, significant steps towards this endeavor. So for us at ITC Hotels, at ITC Kohinoor, sustainability is our biggest unique differentiator. If I talk about everything else. I think to begin with, internationally recognized certification, that endorses all the sustainable practices that our organization talks about, plays a big role in kind of aligning international MICE or domestic consumer. For instance, ITC Kohinoor is LEED Platinum certified by US Green Building Council. Now, it certifies, it gives an assurance to the end consumer, and we have seen it swinging a lot of business our way. So that was first thing that I thought of bringing about. Secondly, when we talk about culinary initiatives, under the responsible luxury gamut, we have an initiative called Local Love. Now, this Local Love is a initiative wherein we curate menus with ingredients which are very fresh, seasonal in nature, locally sourced, and we promote these menus during our MICE events. And they are really appreciated by the takers, both local as well as international travelers. Also, we have a page dedicated to local love in all our coffee shop menus. Now, this attracts heritage traveler because they are the ones who are looking for local favorites, but they don't want to go to the streets of Hyderabad. They want to have it in the hygienic settings of a 5-star hotel. So that's where it attracts the heritage travelers. Last but not the least, I think somewhere down the line, we also have a first mover advantage at ITC Hotels, wherein back in December 2020, we decided to eliminate single-use plastic to a great extent from our hotel. So we were the first ones to kind of replace plastic bottles in all our rooms and restaurants with glass bottles. We came up with a unique initiative called Shunwe Aqua, wherein we had our own filtration plants, etc. in-house. And then everybody else also followed it. If you walk into any of our rooms in ITC Kohinoor, or for that matter, any of our luxury collection hotels, you will not find anything which is single-use plastic. The plastic combs have been replaced with wooden combs. The plastic toothbrush has been replaced with a wooden toothbrush, and a lot of other hotels have also taken similar initiatives. But somewhere this first mover advantage helped us and kind of cemented our reputation as a responsible luxury hotel chain on a global platform. So I think that takes care of it.
Okay, so actually, Jitendra, I had the fortune of being part of the team that came to do your 5-star classification. You remember?
Yes,
So
yes.
I
Yes.
think I saw the water bottling plant initiative, etc. when I was there. So I think yes, fabulous. I think these initiatives are extremely important today in the world that we live in, and I think what we are doing is to create a better planet for the future. I think, and I think a lot of work has been done by your hotel as well as other hotels in your luxury collection, as well as the other hotel chains. I'm sure everybody has got something to contribute, and I think it's a very important step that we all need to take as leaders going forward to make sure that we give a greener planet to the future. I think that's very important. So thank you so much. And with this, I want to ask Bhuvi a question. Bhuvi, do you want to play KBC on the show?
Right, we can play KBC, yeah, but we'll take a short 30-second commercial break.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Diversey. Diversey has been a great partner for us and for the industry. They're actually putting their money at the right place, the mouth, right? They're supporting the industry. They are the ones because of whom the show is where it is, and third year in running. And we're blessed to have them as partners. They help us to carry the word of the industry, to promote this industry and sell this industry as a career destination with all aspiring hoteliers who are looking to get into hospitality schools, or they're already in hospitality schools. So thank you so much, Diversey. God bless you. Now, Pankaj, over to you. After you do your KBC, I'll come back with a question and then we go back to all of them again.
So, well, of course, I cannot speak like Amitabh Bachchan ji, but I will still ask a question to everyone. This is a question for everyone. How many?
Short responses.
Yeah, whoever gets the response, fastest finger first. So you put up your hand, fastest finger first.
And then everybody answers it, and then we'll give you the right answer.
Okay, so my question is, how many UNESCO recognized heritage sites are there in Telangana? Your time starts now. टिक-टिकी जी चालू हो गई है.
Maybe 15.
चलो हो गया रुबिन. और आगे. हाँ बोल जितेंद्र.
I think there's only one, Ramappa Temple.
अच्छा, who else?
Yeah, I think 3.
All right, Deep says 3. What about Vijay and Ruben and Aman?
Maybe 10.
Maybe 10. All right. What about you, Aman? You are a local boy.
Around 5, I think.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's give it to the one who studied it well. I hope you're not Googling. Pankaj, आप बोलो, बताओ इनको.
Jitendra, you have given the correct answer. बिल्कुल सही जवाब दिया आपने. It's only one, and that's Ramappa Temple. So, heartiest congratulations. You got it absolutely right on this one.
And with that, you give us a free paid stay for a week in your hotel. अच्छा हाँ बताइए अगला.
Agla, you want me to ask or you want to ask this one?
आप पूछो.
So the second question is, in terms of ranking, where does Hyderabad stand for its contribution to the IT sector? In terms of ranking, where does Hyderabad stand in terms of its contribution to the IT sector? Ranking means it could be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, whatever.
Maybe second to Bangalore.
Yeah,
Okay,
second.
Ruben says second to Bangalore. Okay, one
Second.
answer we've got.
I second the second.
Who's second? The second set?
Aman.
Aman. So Aman says second to second. Okay.
Vijay.
Number 3, first, I think Bangalore, second Mumbai, third Hyderabad.
Okay. Vijay says number 3. Jitender.
I think second after Bangalore.
Okay,
Jitender feels it's second after Bangalore. Okay.
Yeah, I think second. Yeah, I'll go for second.
okay. So I think everybody is one except Vijay.
Yeah. So the answer is, of course, second, and fabulous. I think that's what Hyderabad does. It's the number 2 in terms of contribution to the IT sector, only after Bangalore. So fabulous. That was
So let
really.
me ask one. Let me ask.
Oh, please.
with your
Very
permission.
good. Very good.
So tell us, what is the approximate number of international tourists visiting Hyderabad annually? Just give us a percentage number. Bing. No sentences. So let's begin with Deep. Aman.
1.5 million.
Acha,
1.5 million. Okay.
No, I'll have a vague guess. I think 1 million. I don't know the answer. Sorry.
1
Acha,
million.
okay, Jitender.
Sir, 1.5 million.
Acha, Ruben and Vijay.
I would say anything between 1.2 to 1.7 or something.
Vijay.
About 500,000.
All right. The right answer is 1.5 million. So 3 of them have got it, and all 3 of them are surds.
And all 3 right, only Jitender got actually. All 3 right, only Jitender got. In fact, he got the answer right for all 3 questions. So I think,
all 3 questions.
yeah. So Jitender, well done. Your knowledge is good. You can definitely participate in KBC for sure.
Yeah, and
My
It'll be
knowledge is
complimentary room
fresh.
night, sir.
You know,
we're
I'm the
all
newest kid
coming
on the
for
block,
a-
right?
We're all coming for an all-paid stay of 7 days, including boarding and lodging.
He'll say rooms they. That's what he'll say. He's one person who will never have rooms available
No, come over the weekend, no?
over the week.
Weekend में 7 दिन नहीं होते. Okay, this was a good one. Right. So let me come back to you, Pankaj, with your second one, with your permission, if I may.
Of course.
अच्छा, मुझे ये बताइए, with Hyderabad hosting both high-profile heritage travelers and large-scale conventions. I mean, you know what HICC is doing, right? And tell me, how do you see the balance evolving between preserving luxury and meeting MICE demands?
So, Bhuvi, I would like to answer this question with an example of 2 events which recently happened in Hyderabad. One was Brand USA, and Brand USA, as you are aware of, had a lot of international participants that came for the conference. And the one event that happened was predominantly at the Falaknuma Palace, where we blended heritage with the conferencing experience. Similarly, as we speak, there is another event which is scheduled to happen. In fact, there are 2 events. One I'm going to speak about is there's an IIM Bangalore alumni which is getting down here. It's like a get together of a group of people who studied in IIM, all CEOs, CXOs. And while of course they will do the conferencing and they'll have speakers, etc. What they are still wanting to do is visit heritage and cultural sites, which is part and parcel of the itinerary. And the last event I'm going to refer to is about international Rotarian golf event happening in Hyderabad, where of course there is golfing happening, but also along with that they want to indulge in heritage walks, etc. And I think that's the interesting part, that it's not just only conferencing that people come here. They come in here they balance it with leisure. They balance it with golf, maybe for an example. They balance it with heritage tours. They balance it with a visit to a palace, the Falaknuma Palace. They balance it with a meal experience at maybe the restaurants that we have, not at our hotels, but maybe local restaurants like a Viva Bhojanam, or even a restaurant at maybe ITC for that matter. One of the events happened recently. While the conference happened here, the dinner was at the ITC. So I'm just saying that it's a balance. People come here with that balance. So it's not just only a conference or a MICE event. There are multiple things that happen simultaneously with the conference, and therefore you can blend in both heritage and culture along with the conference. So I think that is what is. I hope that answers the question that you've asked me, and I think I'll give you fine examples. Yeah.
Yeah. So Hyderabad, I'm telling you, is so uniquely placed. It's not a Bangalore, it's not a Mumbai, right? It's not a Delhi, but it's something in between, and which makes it far more interesting.
Absolutely.
With all the history behind it, and an amazing city, amazingly placed, a great airport, and such brilliant road air. What is the driving time to Hyderabad from Mumbai?
8 hours. 8 hours.
6 hours by a good road.
6 hours by a good road, but if you take a break, halt, etc., then 8 hours. So
Then 8 hours.
Then 8 hours, which is not bad. Which is not bad.
So imagine how well you're located, and you go little up north, you get into Vizag, and you get into Odisha. You go down south, you get into Tirupati, and get into Chennai. So brilliant location. All right, back to you, Pankaj. Now it's your show for the last 5 questions. We have 17 minutes to closure. So we'll
Sure. So I'm gonna do it quickly.
3 minutes per response.
Look, I definitely make sure it comes within that. So I think this question I'm going to ask to Vijay is, Vijay, for your heritage property, the Falaknuma Palace, how do you adapt bespoke MICE events while trying to maintain its exclusivity in terms of the kind of residents that you have? How do you maintain the balance?
So thank you, Pankaj, once again. And I'd like to thank Deep for his very kind words of appreciation. So when we look at the Taj Falaknuma Palace, I think we operate more on the uniqueness, the culture, the history, the legacy. And the fact is that, when we look at this palace, we have places which can be used, but they could be used for more exclusive kind of events and occasions. We are not large capacity, though we have facilities which can go up to 1,000 to 1,200, 1,500, the lawns and all that we've got. But when we look at it, we look to, I would say, plan occasions, events, which will also protect the peace and the privacy of the guests who are staying with us in the property. And therefore, fortunately, with the way the hotel is also structured, the palace is structured, the residential areas fall in a certain area and the common areas are a bit in front. So there is that little bit of, space in between them. So I think that's just one fortunate way that in which it is planned. The other thing is that we obviously, when we have these events, we make sure that, the people and the event people that we're dealing with understand the palace and its requirements and its uniqueness. So we have a very, I would say, evolved set of, I would say, guidelines through which we can, ensure that both continue to have a great seamless experience. Third is, of course, access to the palace is it's not open. It's what do you call this? It's only when you have, let's say, a booking with us, or you're coming for a meal experience, or on this occasion when you're coming. So there is no rush that you ever have on the palace. It tends to help us in managing all experiences of the guests who are staying out here, both those coming for events as well as those who are staying with us. So I would say it's a combination of all these factors that we have when we look to, I would say, take care of both the residential guests as well as the conferencing guests. And I would say that, we've got some very special venues like the Darbar Hall, we've got the Jade Room, the Jade Terrace, we've got exquisite lawns, courtyards. So people, when they come out here, when they come on recce's also, they look at obviously seeing how they can use these elements for a differentiated experience. So that's what we're more about: uniqueness, exclusiveness, differentiated. We're not really into large numbers. We can also, do that upon requirement. And that is the way that we maintain the balance for both the guests.
In fact, I know for a fact that, Vijay will agree with me. In fact, in terms of our set of rules that we have, in terms of music, in terms of even things like Bharat, etc., there are restrictions that we put there so that we don't disturb our resident guests. I'm aware of all of that. So I think that's something that we've maintained pretty well. And I think people do understand why we do so, because we do want our guests staying in house to be absolutely comfortable with no dinner or noise that comes from outside. So I think we've been doing it very well, and I'm sure you continue the heritage which has been there for such a long time.
Absolutely, Pankaj. In fact, I would say that this hotel has been very privileged to have the leadership it has in the past, and they've done a fantastic job and made my life easier.
Not just that, Vijay. This place occupies a very special position in terms of our archaeological heritage, right? I mean, there's so much of history attached to it. We may try and bring back history with new projects, but this is in its original form, like most palaces are.
To add to this movie, just let me tell you that IHCL, it took 10 years to restore the entire palace the way it was. It took 10 years.
I heard about
an investment of 150 crores, which IHCL put in to kind of make sure what the palace is today. And everything has been retained from the past, including the rugs, the carpets. There are stains, some of them still have stains, but the idea was to kind of retain as much as possible of the original structure which was there. And I think this endeavor, whoever thought about it, that point in time really adds value, because that palace was not being used and it was just more like a thunder, let's put it that way. But I think it's come out so well today.
what we would have lost.
You would have lost, absolutely. So
All
it's
right.
restored. It's restored with a lot of effort, and I think it's still a fantastic place to visit. So
Yeah. So next one goes to Deep. Yeah.
Deep, I'm going to ask you questions. Then your next question is, what strategies do you employ to attract and retain MICE travelers in a very competitive market like Hyderabad?
Yeah, I think, Pankaj, thank you for the question. Coming back to the same discussion that we had, first of all, I think just to give a broader overview, in recent years, Hyderabad has seen a significant transformation in overall demand trends, and city has emerged as one of the prominent destinations for domestic and international MICE. And I think all of us here have witnessed that in recent past. With the state of ever evolving infrastructure, the moderate climate, I think they had set the benchmark where I think this is, kind of in a global scenario right now, is one of those destinations where I think MICE is being looked at as in a very strong front. At Marriott and hotel level, I think some bigger, broader strategies that we follow to retain or probably to, first of all, invite MICE leads is Marriott has an extremely strong sales and distribution network in the country. And keeping the national sales teams in mind, I think we sell Hyderabad as a destination to ensure that those leads are coming to the city. That's one. Secondly, at hotel level, we are actively working along with private and associations like International Congress and Convention Associations. Apart from that, I think we work with HC. We be very closely to drive international conventions in the city. We work very, very closely with exhibition venues to, kind of create that induced demand in the city, to ensure that we create that MICE platform, and which, all the hotels in the city get benefited out of it. The plus part of the hotel at this point of time is we have the biggest inventory in the city. 423 odd rooms at any given point of time, whether our idea more or less to have driven MICE leads during weekends. So that's where I think the forte has been there. Where this is where I think the entire focus is to drive MICE by supporting the inventory of room. But what happens, I think I would like to also say that at this point of time, I think this year, 2024, has been a great year for the city on a whole. I think the entire city grew by 35% when you speak about the MICE leads in the business. So that's where I think as a hotel, we work towards ensuring that we have a well-defined strategy in place to push MICE. Our retention is very simple. It's relatively simpler by giving them a flawless experience through a single window operation at the hotel. So that's where our retention strategy broadly has been. in the year 2024.
Fantastic. What you can retain is important, and how do you make sure that they come back again is also extremely important. So fabulous.
Right.
Great to know that. And with that, I would like to pose my next question to Ruben. Ruben, with so many international events, conferences, MICE events happening at your hotel, what are the innovative services and setups that you have created at your hotel to kind of make sure this is at par with what some of the best hotels in the world offer?
Okay, thank you. See, for me, Pankaj, I mean, I've just about completed 2 years at this particular hotel. But however, this hotel is in operation for almost 2 decades, so it gets extremely challenging for any general manager. One is to live up to what, the predecessors have kind of given. And secondly, as the property ages, it gets even more challenging to be again on the game, with the new ones coming up. So that was one of my biggest challenges. So one of the couple of things that we've done is like the cultural integration and the local experience. So we do have a lot of international associations. So when such things happen, we kind of try and seamlessly blend the local tours, the cultural workshops, heritage exploration. And to give you an example, maybe we have this live biryani setups with Hyderabadi theme, kind of showcasing the local culinary traditions. We do these Panti Bhojana and the Sadhya services set up for the South Indian style. It's a very unique experience that foreigners love, and why not even Indians love. Secondly, end-to-end event management. Like I already told you, we've got dedicated events team, and reliable business partners help kind of with everything, right from the planning stage to the final execution, to ensure a hassle-free kind of. Then, one of the unique things that we have as a convention center is we have 38 breakout rooms. Now, this is extremely important to attract a lot of these international associations, because while there is a big original event happening, they need multiple breakout rooms for their smaller meetings. So that box is ticked. Then exceptional culinary journey, from sourcing fresh local ingredients to crafting healthy grab and go options, while offering a wide range of menu, every preference, personalized dietary solutions, so on and so forth. Then also, we also kind of do a balanced individual care with large group demands, at the heart of operations, where we try to give everybody an experience. I mean, you and a couple of other colleagues in this panel were experienced one of those Christmas dinners that we had at our property. And finally, last but not the least, sustainability, like Jitendra mentioned. I mean, yes, sustainability and the single-use plastic. I mean, we had a global initiative by our chairman in Paris that all aqua hotels by 2022-23 should abolish single-use plastic. And we also, this particular property, we proudly boast that we were one of the first hotels to have, O by Arya. That's the life water, producing remineralized atmospheric water. So this is water from the air. We bottle it in glass bottles, and so with that, last year we were able to save 1 million liters groundwater, annually. Then we also have this beautiful dual solar power system, which kind of not only helps us heat up to 4,000 liters of water, but it also kind of generates almost 9 kilowatts of electricity daily. So that's a big thing. So these are some of the initiatives, and also last year we were awarded with the Green Key certification, like what Jitendra mentioned about the LEED. We got the Green Key. So this all adds up to all
I'm
those.
sure. So with that, Ruben, I think there's a lot of innovation that's going on at your hotel in terms of kind of giving unique experiences to your customer and your guests. I think it's fabulous to know that, and I'm sure that's going to keep on attracting large events again and again to Novotel and to HICC, and that's good for all of us. So I'm not going to complain.
Thanks.
And my next question is to Amandeep Singh. Aman, I want to ask you, how do you leverage this Hyderabad? Hyderabad is famous for its biotechnology, and it's a hub for biotechnology. How do you leverage this with your unique proposition that you have in terms of the Hilton Genome Valley? How do you kind of use that?
Thanks, Pankaj, again for the question. Look, we are obviously Hilton's first property in Hyderabad, first of many, I'm hoping. But having said that, I think you said it right, Genome Valley, right? I think we all know Hyderabad as high-tech city, right? And obviously that's where everything developed first. But Genome Valley is coming up very, very strongly. In fact, it's a hub to about 40 plus companies at this point of time. And we are literally 2 minutes drive from there to the hotel, right? Obviously, Genome Valley is the research center for agrotech, biotech, and pharma. And there's more and more companies, starting to house in there, which gives us a bit of an advantage because currently when, there are international travelers or even the domestic travelers come in for, spending a lot of time with research and development, they travel all the way back to high tech to stay in, lovely properties out there. So I think we have that advantage being right next door to Genome Valley. So that'll be a great leverage point. Obviously, but I've mentioned earlier with the kind of event spaces, we've got 7 indoor banquet spaces, 4 outdoor spaces. So from both leisure events or corporate events or MICE events, we've got plenty of options. And, we can cater to 3, 4, 5 events at one given point, depending obviously on the size of the events, which will be a great asset. And again, and I say this with humility, we are the new kid on the block.
You are the newest kid on the block, actually.
Yeah, so I think people would want to try us as well, out of curiosity that what is this?
Correct.
Obviously, Hilton is not new to people around. They
Of
know
course,
the brand.
of course.
But I think, there's curiosity about what Hilton has to offer in Hyderabad. So I think that's a little advantage we will have, not just from Genome Valley, but even from, the clients at high tech side. So, we're looking forward to that. And, we're working on the right direction to get it open first.
Fabulous. So again, I'm sure you have a very strong first mover advantage where you're located. I don't know if there are any hotels coming up next to you, but
not at this point. Not a branded hotel.
Point.
I mean, they're great hotels who've been there for decades, right? Alankrita, Leonia, they've been there. They're very popular.
But this is the first branded hotel there. So
branded 5-star luxury resort.
5-star
I think will be the first
hotel.
one. Yeah.
Good. All the best to you.
Thank you.
Being the newest kid on the block, it's not Jitender. My apologies. But with that, I'm going to ask my last question for this evening to Jitender. Jitender, how does ITC Kohinoor leverage Hyderabad's rich culinary heritage to offer unique gastronomic experiences for large groups?
All right. Right. So ITC Hotels has always been known for its cuisine strength, Pankaj, and we've achieved this because, over the years, our chefs could research and they could kind of connect the harmony that exists between the cuisine and the region from where it comes from, the local tradition, culture, its people, and the heritage, that the city offers. Dampukht Begums at ITC Kohinoor is one such example. It's a tribute to the cuisine of Nizams, this restaurant serves authentic Hyderabadi dishes, as from patthar ke kebab to halim to kachi gosht ki biryani, etc. It's a hot favorite in the town, and you know how difficult it is to get a table in Dampukht. This is the 6th Dampukht that we opened in our chain, and this is the only Dampukht with a unique name, and the name is Dampukht Begums. So as per the Hyderabadi literature, the daughter-in-law, the eldest daughter-in-law of the Nizam family had the complete administration of the household, and she was the prime custodian of the kitchen. And therefore, the name has been coined as Dampukht Begums for the Dampukht at Hyderabad. So that's the kind of tribute, we have paid to the cuisine of Nawabs. When I talk about banquet cuisine and that we offer to our MICE consumers, we celebrate the cuisine of Hyderabad in the form of traditional dastarkhans that we curate basis the guest request in different formats, from low-seated chalky dinners that we serve in traditional Hyderabadi style to grand buffets that we showcase in our lawns, in our banquet halls, etc. So in nutshell, it's the ITC hotels, master chefs, the key craftsmen who could imagine and connect the cuisine with the heritage of the city that has led to the success of Hyderabadi cuisine, and that is something that we have witnessed in ITC Kohinoor today. So I think I've answered your question on that.
Yeah. So interesting. Yeah, so interesting to blend tradition with modernity in terms of your property, and then kind of delivering it to our international guests who come, and that's what they're looking for. So fabulous, Jitender. And with that, Bhuvi, would you like me to do a small summary of what everybody
Yes, I would absolutely like.
I made some
minutes, 1 to 2 minutes. So
quickly. So I made some notes. Excellent. We had a fantastic discussion, I think, Bhuvi, and I think I'm just putting down each of the points. So I'll start with Vijay. Basically, Vijay from Falaknama Palace highlighted how the palace's heritage charm is seamlessly integrated with modern luxury and bespoke MICE experiences. With Deep, he shared an insight on integrated wellness into MICE offerings and strategies for retaining MICE travelers. I think that was very insightful. Ruben gave us a knowledge of Novotels, how it delivers predominantly on large-scale MICE events, while personalizing luxury experiences and elevating Hyderabad as a global MICE hub. I think that is what Ruben did in our discussion. Amandeep highlighted Hilton's focus on wellness and how it attracts corporate travelers in the Hyderabad's biotech hub. And last but not the least, of course, Jitender spoke about ITC's commitment to responsible luxury and culinary innovation for heritage and MICE guests. So I think we had a very, very fruitful discussion, Bhuvnesh. I hope it was to your expectations. You've been doing this for a long time. This is my first, but
and I think my investment in getting you to lead the show has been fully reaped and repaid.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you so much.
I'm sure my colleagues on the show will agree that this has been more than an 11 on 10 anchoring job. So you have a career waiting for you after you hang up your boots.
Bilkul sahi jawab.
So अब ऐसा है that I just loved the show, you know. So it's been a great session, and like I said, thank you, Pankaj. You've been very special moderating this session, and to all my colleagues, the panelists, you've been brilliant ambassadors, not just for the city. You've been a brilliant ambassador for the industry and your brand, and for all the youngsters who are watching them, go grab their sleeve and take them in for mentoring. They're all leaders of proven caliber. They have years of experience behind them, and try and emulate their achievements and get there in their hot seat. This has been a great show. Pankaj, thank you so much. And I must also thank Diversey for being a great partner. Ruben, I owe you a free stay, and I'll come and take that from you for missing you out in the introduction. You see, what had happened was I wasn't reading the script. I was reading the screen, and in the gallery view, you slipped out.
Never mind. At least we'll get to see you again.
My apologies. So now we shall be back in another 20 minutes with the next episode, which is again on Hyderabad. Some very interesting general managers again will be there, led by Shrikant, and the BW Hotelier Diversey GM show. This season 3 is twice a day, 4 times a week, every Thursday and Friday, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. We webcast live over bwhotelier.com online, our YouTube channel, and our four social media platforms. And thank you, Team BW, and thank you, Team BW Hotelier. We'll close with the video and then come back and thank you all. So thank you so much, Pankaj. Thank you, Vijay, our first show together. Thank you, Deep, Jitender, Ruben, Aman. You've been great speakers, and your views will go far. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you. An honor to be on the
Mr.
show.
Khan.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bhuvnesh.
Thank you.
And we'll
Guys,
do
have a great
another
evening.
encore soon.